Rochester. For the people of Rome, and for Caesar!
Caesar!
Hence! Home, you idle creatures, get you home. Is this a holiday?
Aye, indeed, sir. We make holiday to see Caesar and rejoice in his triumph.
Yeah! Caesar!
Wherefore rejoice? From what conquest bring ye home? You blocks, you stones, you worse and senseless things. Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome. Knew you not Pompey? And do you now put on your best attire? And do you now call out a holiday? And do you now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Be gone! Run to your houses, fall upon your knees. Pray to the gods to intermit the plague that needs must light upon this ingratitude. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. These growing feathers, plucked from Caesar's wing, will make him fly in ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness?
Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue, surer than all the music, cry, Caesar! Speak! Caesar is turned to hear.
Beware! The Ides of March!
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Set him before me. Let me see his face.
Fellow, come from the throng. Look upon Caesar.
What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware! The Ides of March!
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass.
Will you go see the order of the fight?
Not I.
I pray you, do.
I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which give some soil perhaps to my behaviors. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number, Cassius, be you one, nor construe any further my neglect than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the shows of love to other men.
Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passion, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, Brutus, Can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other thing.
'Tis just. And it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eyes, that you might see your shadow. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus and groaning underneath this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? That you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me? What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Aye, do you fear it? Then I must think you would not have it so.
I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it you would impart to me?
I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, but for my single self, I had as life not be as lived to be in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born free as Caesar, so were you. We both have fed as well, and we both can endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Durst thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside. But ere we could arrive at the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink!" This man is now become a god. Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend his body of Caesar carelessly, but not on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain. When the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake. Ye gods, it doth amaze me that one of such a feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone.
Another general shout. I do believe these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar.
Why, man, it doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus. We, petty men, walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Sound them, it doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them, it is as heavy. Conjure with them, Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. Now in the names of all the gods at once, upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed, that he is grown so great? Age, thou art shamed. Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. When went there by an age since the great flood, but it was famed with more than with one man? When could they say till now that talked of Rome, that her wide walls encompassed but one man? Now it is Rome indeed, and room enough when there is in it but one only man. Oh, you and I heard our fathers say, there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king.
That you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you would work me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this and of these times I shall recount hereafter. For the present, I would not, so with love I might entreat you, be any further moved. What you have said I will consider. What you have to say I will with patience hear, and find a time both meet to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome under these hard conditions as this time is like to lay upon us.
I'm glad that my weak words have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus.
The games are done and Caesar is returning.
As they pass Poctasca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell you what hath proceeded worthy note today.
Antony.
Caesar?
Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep o' nights. Yond Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear him not, Caesar. He is not dangerous. He's a noble Roman and well given.
Would he were fatter, but I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. Such men as he be never at heart's ease. Wiles they behold are greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear, for always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this ear is deaf, and tell me truly what thou thinkst of him.
You plucked me by the cloak. Would you speak with me?
Aye, Casca. Tell us what hath chanced today, that Caesar looks so sad.
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand thus. And then the people fell a-shouting.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
I can as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery. I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, yet 'twas not a crown neither. 'Twas one of these coronets. And, as I told you, he put it by once. But, for all that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again. He put it by again. But, to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. Then he offered it the third time. He put it the third time by. And still, as he refused it, the rabblement hooted and clapped their chapped hands, and threw up their sweaty nightcaps, and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown, that it had almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And, for mine own part, I durst not laugh, for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
But soft, I pray you. What, did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in the marketplace, and foamed at mouth, and was speechless.
'Tis very like. He hath the falling sickness.
No, Caesar hath it not. But you and I, honest Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I know not what you mean by that, but I am sure Caesar fell down.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Mary, before he fell down, when he perceived the common herd was glad he had refused the crown, he plucked me ope his doublet and offered them his throat to cut. When he came to himself again, he said, if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches, where I stood, cried, Alas, good soul! And forgave him with all their hearts. But there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less.
And after that he came thus sad away?
Aye,
Did Cicero say anything?
aye, he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, and I tell you, I'll ne'er look you in the face again. But those that understood it smiled at one another and shook their heads. But, for mine own part, it was Greek to me. I could tell you more news, too. Flavius, for pulling scarves off Caesar's images, is put to silence. Farewell. There was more foolery yet, if I could remember it. Farewell both.
What a blunt fellow this has grown to be.
This rudeness is a sauce to his good wit, which gives men's stomach to digest his words with better appetite.
And so it is. For this time I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home to you. Or, if you will, come home to me, and I will wait for you.
I will do so. Till then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble. Yet I see thy honorable metal may be wrought from that it is disposed. Therefore it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes. For who so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. If I were Brutus now and he were Cassius, he should not humor me. I will this night in several hands in at his windows throw, as if they came from several citizens, writings all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. And after this let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him, or worse days endure.
I have seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks. And I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with threatening clouds. But never till tonight, never till now did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction. Against the Capitol I met a lion, who glared upon me and went surlily by without annoying me. When such prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say, these are their reasons, they are natural. For I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they point upon.
Who's there?
A Roman?
Casca by your voice.
Your ear is good. Cassius, what night is this?
A very pleasing night to honest men.
Are you not moved when all the sway of the earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Whoever knew the heavens menace so?
Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous things.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is the part of men to fear and tremble when the most mighty gods, by tokens, send such dreadful heralds to astonish us.
You are dull, Casca, and those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want, or else you use not. You look pale and gaze, and put on fear, and cast yourself in wonder to see the strange impatience of the heavens. Now could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night, that thunders, lightens, opens graves, and roars as doth the lion in the Capitol. A man no mightier than thyself, or me, in personal action, yet prodigious grown, and fearful, as these strange eruptions are.
'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is.
Indeed, they say we senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein, ye gods, you make the weak most strong. Therein, ye gods, you tyrants do defeat. If I know this, know all the world besides. That part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity.
Why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man. I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheep. He were no lion, were not Romans' hinds. Those that with haste will make a mighty fire, begin it with weak straws. What trash is Rome? What rubbish and what offal when it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar? But, oh grief, where hast thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman. Then I know my answer must be made. But I am armed, and dangers are to me indifferent.
You speak to Casca. Hold my hand. Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes furthest.
There's a bargain made. Now know you, Casca, I have moved already some certain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence.
Stand close a while, for here comes one in haste.
'Tis Cinna. I do know him by his gait. He is a friend. Cinna, where haste you so?
To find out you. Who's that? Metellus Imber?
No, it is Casca, one incorporate to our attempts. Am I not stayed for, Cinna?
I am glad on't. What a fearful night is this. There are 2 or 3 of us who have seen strange sights.
Am I not stayed for? Tell me.
Yes, you are, O Cassius. If you could but win the noble Brutus to
Be
a
you
party.
content. Good Cinna, take this paper and throw it in at Brutus' window. All this done, repair to Pompey's porch where you shall find us. Is Decius and Trebonius there?
All but Metellus separate, and he is gone to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie, and so bestow these papers as you pay me.
Come, Casca. You and I will yet ere day see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields him ours.
Oh, he sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness.
What? Lucius, ho! I cannot by the progress of the stars give guess how near today. Lucius, I say! I would it were my fault to sleep so soundly. When, Lucius, when? Awake, I say! What, Lucius?
Called you, my lord?
Get me a taper in my study, Lucius. When it is lighted, come and call me here.
I will, my lord.
It must be by his death. And for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him, but for the general. He would be crowned. How might that change his nature? There's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves weary walking. Crown him, that, and then I grant we put a sting in him, that at his will he may do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power. And, to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affection swayed more than his reason. But 'tis a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns he back, looks in the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar may, and lest he may, prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no color for the thing he is, fashion it thus, that what he is, augmented, would run to these and these extremities. And therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which hatched would as its kind grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell.
I found this paper thus sealed up, and I am sure it did not lie there when I went to bed.
Get you to bed again. It is not day. Is not tomorrow, boy, the Ides of March?
I know not, sir.
Look in the calendar and bring me word.
I will, sir.
The exhalations whizzing in the air give so much light that I may read by them. Brutus, thou sleepst, awake, and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc. Speak, strike, redress. Brutus, thou sleepst, awake. Such instigations have been often dropped where I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc. Thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What Rome? My ancestors did from the streets of Rome the Tarquin drive when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise, if the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hand of Brutus.
Sir, March has wasted 14 days.
'Tis good. Go to the gate. Somebody knocks. Since Cassius first did wet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, All the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection.
Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door, who doth desire to see you.
Is he alone?
No, sir, there are more with him.
Do you know them?
No, sir. Their hats are plucked about their ears and have their faces buried in their cloaks, that by no means I may discover them by any mark of favor.
Let him enter. They are the faction.
I think we are too bold upon your rest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I have been up this hour, awake all night. Know I all these that come along with you?
Yes, every man of them. And no one here but honors you, and every one doth wish you bear that opinion of yourself which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Trebonius.
He is welcome hither.
This Decius.
He is welcome too.
This Casca. This Cinna. And this Metellus Cimber.
They are all welcome. Give me your hands all over, one by one.
Let us swear our resolution that Caesar shall not...
not an oath. If not the face of men, the sufferance of our souls, the time's abuse, if these be motives weak, break off betimes, and every man hence to his idle bed. So let high-sighted tyranny range on, till each man drop by lottery. But if these, as I am sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards, then, countrymen, what need we any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? And what other oath than honesty to honesty engaged, that this shall be, or we will fall for it? Swear priests and cowards and such suffering souls that welcome wrongs. But do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, to think that our cause or our performance did need an oath. When every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of a several bastardy, if he do break the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him.
Shall no one else be touched but only Caesar?
Decius, well urged. I think it is not meet that Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver, and you know his means, if he improve them, may stretch so far as to annoy us all, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off, and then hack the limbs, for Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let's be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it, and, gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let us carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for hounds. We will be called purgers, not murderers. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off.
And yet I fear him, for in the engrafted love he bears to Caesar.
Alas, good Cassius, do not think of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself take thought and die for Caesar, and that were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wildness, and much company.
There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter.
Peace. Count the clock.
'Tis stricken 3.
'Tis time to part.
But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth this day or no, for he is superstitious grown of late. It may be that the terror of this night may hold him from the capital today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can o'ersway him. Let me work, for I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital.
Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him.
By the 8th hour, is that the uttermost?
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
The morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus. And, friends, disperse yourselves. But all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans.
Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it as our Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so, good morrow to you, every one. Boy, Lucius! Fast asleep. It is no matter. Enjoy the honey-heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no figures, nor no fantasies which busy care draws in the brains of men. Therefore thou sleepst so sound.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw cold morning.
Nor for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed, and yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further, and you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not. But with an angry wafture of your hand you gave sign for me to leave you, so I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled, and withal hoping it was but an effect of humour, which sometime hath this hour with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep, and could it work so much upon your shape as it hath much prevailed on your condition, I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
Why, so I do. Good Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humours of the dank morning? What, is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night, and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offence within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees I charm you, by my once commended beauty, and by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me, yourself, your half, why you are heavy, and what men tonight have had resort to you. For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it accepted I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Dwell I but in the suburbs of thy good pleasure. If it be no more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then I should know this secret. I grant I am a woman, but with all the woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so husbanded? Tell me your counsels, I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience and not my husband's secrets?
O ye gods, render me worthy of this noble wife. Portia, go in a while, and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee, all the charactery of my sad brows. Leave me with haste.
Nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, "Help, ho! They murder Caesar." Who's within?
What mean you, Caesar?
Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall forth. The things that threatened me ne'er looked but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they frighten me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce fiery warriors fight upon the clouds in rank and squadron and right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noises of battle hurtled in the air. Horses did neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided? Whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. No, Caesar shall go forth. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he, and Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house, and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate House, and he shall say you are not well today. Let me upon my knee prevail in this.
Mark Antony will say I am not well, and for thy humor I will stay at home. Here's Decius. He shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I have come to fetch you to the Senate House.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators and tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not falser. I will not come. Tell them so, Decius.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be afeard to tell graybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue, which, like a fountain with 100 spouts, did run pure blood. And many lusty Romans came smiling, and did bathe their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings and portents and evils imminent, and on her knee hath begged that I will stay at home today.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue, spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from you, great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This by Copernicus' dream is signified.
And this way have you well expounded it.
And besides, it were a mock, apt to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate till another time when Caesar's wife should meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love to your proceeding bids me tell you this, and reason my love is liable.
How foolish do your fears seem, noble Calpurnia. I am ashamed I did yield to them. And look, where Cassius has come to fetch me.
Good morrow, Caesar.
Welcome, Cassius. What, Brutus? Are you stirred so early too? Good morrow, Casca. What is the clock?
Caesar, 'tis your grenade.
I thank you for your pains and courtesy. See, Antony, that revels long o' nights is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony.
So to most noble Caesar.
Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. Now, Cinna, now, Metellus, what, Trebonius? I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near me, that I may remember you.
Caesar, I will. And so near will I be that your best friend shall wish I had been further.
Good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
That every like is not the same, O Caesar. the heart of Brutus yearns to think upon.
Trebonius knows it's time. For look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way.
The Ides of March are come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress?
Most high, most mighty, and most potent Caesar, Metellus Cimber throws before thy feet in humble heart.
I must prevent thee, Cimber. Thy brother by decree is banished. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way.
Is there no voice more worthy than my own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal.
What? Brutus?
Pardon, Caesar, Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. But I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting qualities there is no fellow in the firmament. Let me a little show it, even in this, that I was constant Cimber should be banished, and constant to remain to keep him so.
Oh, Caesar.
Hence, wilt thou lift up Olympus?
Great Caesar.
Doth not Brutus bootless kneel?
Speak! Hands for me!
Et tu, Brute, then false Caesar.
Liberty! Freedom! Tyranny is dead! Run hence, proclaim, and cry it about the streets.
Some to the common pulpits and cry out, liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement!
People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not, stand still. Ambition's debt is paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus.
And Cassius too.
Stand fast together, lest some front of Caesar should
Talk
chant.
not of standing, and let no man abide this deed but we the doers.
Where is Antony?
Fled to his house, amazed. Men, women, children stare, cry out, and run as it were doomsday.
Fates, we shall know your pleasures. That we shall die, we know. 'Tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon.
Why, he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death.
Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood, up to the elbows, and besmear our knives. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace. Waving our red weapons o'er our head, let's all cry, peace, freedom, liberty!
Stoop then and wash. how many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over, in states unborn and accents yet unknown?
How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport, no worthier than the dust?
So oft as that shall be, so often shall the not of us be called the men that gave their country liberty.
What, shall we forth?
Every man away. Brutus will lead, and we shall grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome.
Soft, who comes here? A friend of Antony's.
Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. Thus Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate, thus he bade me say. Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say I love Brutus, and I honor him. Say I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him, and be resolved how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living. So says my master Antony.
He shall be satisfied. I know that we shall have him well to friend.
I wish we may, but yet have I a mind that fears him much, and my misgiving still falls shrewdly to the purpose.
Here comes Mark Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony.
O mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, then there is no hour so fit than Caesar's death hour, and no instrument of half that worth than those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood of all this world.
O Antony, beg not your death of us. Though now we must appear bloody and cruel, our hearts you see not. They are pitiful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome. As fire drives out fire, so pity hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony, our arms in strength of malice, and our hearts of brother's temper, do receive you in all kind love, good thoughts, and reverence.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities.
Only be patient till I have appeased the multitude, beside themselves with fear. And then we will deliver to you the cause, why I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded.
I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. Gentlemen all, alas, what shall I say? That I did love thee, Caesar, 'tis true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death, to see thy Antony making his peace, and shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes, most noble, in the presence of thy corpse?
Mark Antony.
Pardon me, Caius Cassius. The enemies of Caesar shall say this then, in a friend. It is cold modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so, but what compact mean you to have with us? Will you be pricked in number of our friends, or shall we on and not depend on you?
Therefore I took your hands. I seek that I may produce the body in the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you. You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter.
By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first, and give the reason for our Caesar's death. It will advantage more than do us wrong.
I know not what may fall. I like it not.
Mark Antony, here, take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, but speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission.
Be it so. I desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, and I am so meek and gentle with these butchers. Woe to the hands that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds, now I do prophesy, a curse shall light upon the limbs of man. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. All pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit, raging for revenge, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war, that this foul deed shall smell above the world. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did right for him to come to Rome.
He did receive his letters, and is coming and bid me to say to you by the word of mouth, O Caesar.
Thy heart is big. Get thee apart and weep. Passion I see is catching, for mine eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in thine, begin to water. Is thy master coming?
He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome.
Post back with speed and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome. No Rome safe for Octavius yet.
And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All of Rome has gathered here to say farewell to Julius in rising power fell. Great Caesar's life has met untimely end. We bring you now the words of his dear friend.
We'll be satisfied. Let us be satisfied.
Be patient till the last. Romans, countrymen, lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to my honor that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar, to him I say that Brutus's love for Caesar was no less than his. If then this friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I love Caesar less, but that I love Rome more. Had you rather Caesar be living and die all slaves? Or Caesar were dead, to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any, speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any, speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so vile that would not love his country? If any, speak, for him have I offended. I pause for a reply.
None, Brutus, none.
Then none have I offended. here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth, as which of you shall not? With this I depart, that, as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same knife for myself when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus, live!
Yeah. My countrymen.
Peace, silence. Brutus speaks. Peace. Oh.
Good countrymen, let me depart alone, and, for my sake, stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse, and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I entreat you, not a man depart, save I alone, till Antony have spoke.
For Brutus' sake, I'm beholden to you. You gentle Romans.
Peace, ho! Let us hear him.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you that Caesar was ambitious. If so, it were a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. It is by leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause then withholds you to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar. But I must pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his sayings.
Poor soul. His eyes are red as fire of weeping.
But yesterday, the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I would do Brutus wrong, and Cassius wrong, who, you all know, are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. But here is a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will.
We'll hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony.
Read the will.
I fear I wrong the honorable men whose knives stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors, honorable men.
You will compel me then to read the will. Shall I descend? And will you give me leave? Then let me show you him that made the will. If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. 'Twas the day he overcame the Nervii. Look, In this place ran Cassius's dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed, and as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it, as rushing out of doors, to be resolved if Brutus so unkindly knocked or no. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. Oh, now you weep, and I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops. Kind souls, what weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here. Here is himself, marred, as you see, with traitors.
Almost bloody sight.
We will be revenged.
Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honorable. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator, as Brutus is. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony that would ruffle your spirits, put a tongue in every wound of Caesar, and move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny.
We'll mutiny! Yeah! Never, never, come! Away, away! We'll burn his body in the holy place, and with the brands, fire the traitors' houses!
Yeah! Let's go! Now, let it work. Mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt. How now, fellow?
Sir, Octavius has already come to Rome. I heard him say, Brutus and Cassius rid like madmen through the gates of Rome.
Belike they had some notice to the people how I had moved them. Bring me to Octavius.
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unlucky charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth.
What is your name?
Whither are you going?
Where do you dwell?
Answer every man directly.
What is my name? Whither am I going? Where do I dwell? Directly, I am going to Caesar's funeral.
As friend or enemy?
As a friend.
For your dwelling briefly.
Briefly, I dwell by the Capitol.
Your name, sir, truly.
Truly, my name is Cinna.
Tear him to pieces! He's a conspirator!
Get out!
For Caesar!
I am Cinna the poet! I am Cinna the poet! I am not Cinna the conspirator!
'Tis no matter. His name's Cinna. Pluck but his name from his heart and turn him going! Tear him! Tear him! For Caesar!
Come, brands, ho! Firebrands, to Brutus, to Cassius. Burn all, son of Decius' house, and son of Casca's. Away go!
These many then shall die. Their names are pricked.
Your brother too must die. Consent you, Lepidus?
I do consent.
Prick him down, Antony.
Upon condition, Publius shall not live, who is your sister's son, Mark Antony.
He shall not live. Look, with a spot I prick him. But, Lepidus, go you to Caesar's house, fetch the will hither, and we shall determine how to cut off some charge and legacies.
What, shall I find you here?
Or here, or at the Capitol.
This is a slight unmeritable man, meet to be sent on errands.
Is it fit the threefold world divided, he should stand as one of the three to share it?
So you thought him, and took his voice who should be pricked to die in our black sentence and prescription.
Octavius, I've seen more days than you, and though we lay these honors on this man, he shall but bear them as the ass bears gold, to groan and sweat under the business, either led or driven as we point the way.
But he's a tried and valiant soldier.
So is my horse. Do not talk of him but as property. And now, Octavius, listen, great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers. We must straight make head. Therefore, let our alliance be combined, our best friends made, and our means stretched.
Let us do so, for we are at the stake and bait about with many enemies. And some that smile have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs.
What now? Is Cassius near?
Most noble brother, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, you gods. Wrong I mine enemies? And if not so, how should I wrong a brother?
Brutus, the sober form of yours hides wrongs, and when you do
Cassius, be content. Speak your grief softly. I do know you well.
That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardians, wherein my letters, praying on his side because I knew the man, were slighted off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a case.
In such a time as this, it is not meet that every nice offense should bear his comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and march your offices for gold to undeservers.
I, an itching palm? You know that you are Brutus that speaks this, or by the gods, the speech were else your last.
The name of Cassius honors such corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head.
Chastisement.
Remember March, the Ides of March, remember. Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body that did stab, and not for justice? What, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes, and sell the mighty space of our large honors, for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I had rather be a dog, and bay the moon, than such a Roman.
Brutus, bait not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself to hedge me in. I am a soldier. I, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
Go to, you are not, Cassius.
I am.
I say you are not.
Urge me no more. I shall forget myself. Have mind upon your health. Tempt me no farther.
Away, slight man.
Is it possible?
Hear me, for I will speak. Must I give way and room to your rash choler? Shall I be frighted when a madman stares?
Oh, ye gods, must I endure all this?
All this? Aye, more. Fret till your proud heart break. Go show your slaves how choleric you are, and make your bondmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? By the gods, you shall digest the venom of your spleen, though it do split you. For from this day forth, I'll use you for my mirth, yea, for my laughter when you are waspish.
Does it come to this?
You say you are a better soldier. Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true, and it shall please me well. For mine own part, I shall be glad to learn of noble men.
You wrong me every way. You wrong me, Brutus. I said an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say better?
If you did, I care not.
When Caesar lived, he durst not thus have moved me.
Peace, peace, you durst not thus have tempted him.
I durst not.
No.
What, durst not tempt him?
For your life you durst not.
Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for.
You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats, for I am armed so strong in honesty that they pass me by as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts. Dash him to pieces.
I denied you not.
You did.
I did not. It's but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath rived my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not, till you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
Friendly eye could never see such faults.
A flatterer's would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come, Antony and young Octavius, come. Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius. For Cassius is aweary of the world. Hated by one he loves, braved by his brother. Checked like a bondman, all his faults observed, set in notebook, learned and conned by rote to cast into my teeth. Oh, I could weep my spirit from mine eyes. There is my dagger, and here my naked breast. Within a heart dearer than Plutus is mine, richer than gold. That thou beest a Roman, take it forth. I that denied thee gold will give my heart. Strike as thou didst at Caesar, for I know when thou didst hate him worst, thou lovedst him better than ever thou lovedst Cassius.
Sheath your blade. Be angry when you will. It shall have scope. Do what you will. Dishonor shall be humor. O Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who, much enforced, shows a hasty spark, and straight is cold again.
Hath Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him?
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too.
Do you confess so much? Give me your hand.
And my heart too.
Oh, Brutus.
What's the matter?
Have not you love enough to bear with me when that rash humor which my mother gave me makes me forgetful?
Yes, Cassius. And from henceforth, when you are over earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chides, and leave you so. Lucius, a bowl of wine.
I did not think you could have been so angry.
O Cassius, I am sick of many griefs.
Of your philosophy you make no use if you give place to accidental evils.
No man bears sorrow better. Portia is dead.
Ah, Portia?
She is dead.
How escaped I killing when I crossed you so? Oh, insupportable and touching loss! Upon what sickness?
Impatient of my absence, and grieved that young Octavius with Mark Antony have made themselves so strong. For with her death that tidings came. With this she fell distract, and her attendants absent swallowed fire.
And died so.
Even so.
O ye immortal gods.
Speak no more of her. Give me a cup of wine. In this I bury all unkindness, Cassius.
My heart is thirsty for that noble pledge. Fill, Lucius, till the wine or swell the cup. I cannot drink too much of Brutus' love.
Welcome, Decius. Come in, good Metellus. Now, sit we close about this taper here, and call in question our necessities.
Portia, art thou gone?
No more, I pray you. Metellus, I have letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition towards Philippi.
Myself have letters of the self-same tenor,
With what addition?
that by prescription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators.
Therein our letters do not well agree. Mine speak of 70 senators that died by their prescription, Cicero being one.
Cicero won.
Cicero is dead, and by order of that prescription. Had you letters from your wife, my lord?
No, Metellus.
Nor nothing in your letters writ of her?
Nothing, Metellus.
That methinks is strange.
Why ask you? Hear you aught of her in yours?
No, my lord.
As you are a Roman, tell me true.
Then like a Roman, bear the truth I tell. For certain she is dead, and by strange manner.
Why, farewell, Portia. We must die, Metellus, with meditating that she must die once. I have the patience to endure it now.
Even so, great men, great losses should endure.
I have as much an art of this as you, yet my nature could not bear it so.
Well, to our work alive. What do you think of marching to Philippi presently?
I do not think it good.
Your reason?
This it is. 'Tis better that the enemy seek us, so shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself offense, whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defense, and nimbleness.
Good reasons must, of force, give place to better. The people twixt Philippi and this ground do stand but in a forced affection, for they have grudged us contribution. The enemy, marching along by them shall make a fuller number up. Come on refreshed, new added, and encouraged. From which advantage shall we cut him off, if at Philippi we do face him there, these people at our back.
Hear me, good brother.
Under your pardon, you must note beside that we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brimful, our cause is ripe. The enemy increaseth every day. We, at our height, are ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures.
And with your will, go on. We'll along ourselves and meet them at Philippi.
The deep of night has crept upon our talk, and nature must obey necessity. There is no more to say?
No more. Good night. Early tomorrow we will rise and hence.
Farewell, good Metellus. Good night, Decius. Noble Cassius. Good night and good repose.
Oh, my dear brother, this was an ill beginning of the night. Never comes such division between our souls. Let it not, Brutus.
Everything is well.
Good night, my lord.
Good night, good brother.
Good night, Lord Brutus.
Good night, Lord Brutus.
Farewell, everyone. Where is thy instrument?
Here, in the tent.
What? Thou speak'st drowsily? Poor knave. I blame thee not. Thou art o'erwatched. Look, Lucius, the book I sought for so. I put it in the pocket of my coat.
I was sure your lordship did not give it me.
Bear with me, good boy, I am much forgetful. Canst thou hold up thy heavy eyes a while, and touch thy instrument a strain or two?
Aye, my lord, and to please you.
It does, my boy. I trouble thee too much, but thou art willing.
It is my duty, sir.
I should not urge thy duty past thy might. I know young bloods look for a time of rest.
I have slept, my lord, already.
It was well done, and thou shalt sleep again. I will not hold thee long. If I do live, I will be good to thee. This is a sleepy tune. O murderous slumber, layest thou thy leaden mace upon my boy that plays thee music? Gentle knave, good night. Let me see. Is not the leaf turned down where I left reading? Here it is, I think. How ill this taper burns. Who comes here? I think it is the weakness of my eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. It comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god, some angel, or some devil that makes my blood cold and my hair to stare? Speak to me what thou art.
Thy evil spirit, Julius.
Why comest thou?
To tell thee that thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Well, then I shall see thee again?
Aye, at Philippi.
Why, I shall see thee at Philippi then. Now I have taken heart thou vanishest. Ill spirit, I would hold more talk with thee. Boy, Lucius, awake!
The strings, my lord, are false.
He thinks he is still at his instrument. Lucius, awake!
My lord?
Didst thou dream, Lucius, that thou so criedst out?
My lord, I do not know that I did cry.
Yes, thou didst. Didst thou see anything?
Nothing, my lord.
Go and commend me to my brother Cassius. Bid him set on his powers betimes before, and we will follow.
It will be done, my lord.
Now, Antony, our hopes are answered. You said the enemy would not come down but keep the hills and upper regions. It proves not so. Their battles are at hand.
The enemy comes on in gallant show. Their bloody sign of battle is hung out, and something to be done immediately. Octavius, lead your battle softly on upon the left hand of the even field.
Upon the right hand eye, keep thou the left.
Why do you cross me in this exigent?
I do not cross you, but I will do so.
Words before blows. Is it so, countrymen?
Not that we love words better, as you do.
Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius.
In your bad strokes, Brutus, you give good words. Witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying, "Long live, hail Caesar!" While your vile daggers hacked at one another in the sides of Caesar, you bowed like bondsmen, kissing Caesar's feet, whilst damned Casca, like a cur, behind struck Caesar on the neck. Oh, you flatterers.
Flatterers? Now, Brutus, think yourself. This tongue had not offended so today if Cassius might have ruled.
Come, the cause. If arguing make us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw a knife against conspirators. When think you that the blade goes up again? Never, till Caesar's 33 wounds be well avenged, or till another Caesar have added slaughter to the words of traitors.
Caesar, thou canst not die by traitors' hands unless thou bringst them with thee.
So I hope. I was not born to die by Brutus's hand.
Oh, if thou wert the noblest of thy strain, young man, thou couldst not die more honorable.
A peevish schoolboy, worthless of such honor, joined with a masker and a reveler.
Old Cassius still.
Come, Antony, away. Defiance, traitors, hurl we in your teeth. If you dare fight today, come to the field. If not, when you have stomachs.
I now blow wind, swell billow, and swim bark. The storm is up, and all is on the hazard.
Ho, Lucius, hark, a word with you.
My lord?
Metellus.
What says my general?
Metellus, this is my birthday. At this very day was Cassius born. Give me thy hand, Metellus. Be thou my witness that against my will, as Pompey was, am I compelled to set upon one battle all our liberties. Coming from Sardis on our former ensign, 2 mighty eagles fell, and there they perched, gorging and feeding from our soldiers' hands. This morning are they fled away and gone, and in their steads do ravens, crows, and kites fly o'er our heads, and downward look on us as we were sickly prey. Their shadows seem a canopy most fatal, under which our army lies, ready to give up the ghost.
Believe not so.
I but believe it partly, for I am fresh of spirit, and resolved to meet all perils very constantly. Now, most noble Brutus, the gods today stand friendly, that we may, lovers in peace, lead on our days to age. But, since the affairs of men rest still uncertain, let's reason with the worst that may befall. If we do lose this battle, then is this the very last time we shall speak together. What are you then determined to do?
I know not how, but I do find it cowardly and vile, for fear of what might fall. So to prevent the time of life, arming myself with patience to stay the providence of some high powers that govern us below.
Then if we lose this battle, you are contented to be led in triumph through the streets of Rome?
No, Cassius, no. Think not, thou noble Roman, that ever Brutus will go bound to Rome. He bears too great a mind. But this same day must end that work the Ides of March begun. And whether we shall meet again, I know not. Therefore our everlasting farewell take. Forever and forever, farewell, Cassius. If we do meet again, why, we shall smile. If not, why then this parting was well made.
Forever and forever, farewell, Brutus. If we do meet again, we'll smile indeed. If not, 'tis true, this parting was well made.
Why then, lead on. Oh, that a man might know the end of this day's business, ere it come. But sufficeth that the day will end, and then the end is known. Come, ho, away!
Oh, look, Decius, look, the villains fly!
Oh, Cassius, Brutus gave the word too early, who, having some advantage on Octavius, took it too eagerly. His soldiers fell to spoil, whilst we by Antony are all enclosed. Fly further off, my lord, fly further off. Mark Antony is in your tents, my lord. Fly, therefore, noble Cassius, fly far off.
Look, look, Decius, are those my tents where I perceive the fire?
They are, my lord.
My sight was ever thick. Decius, if thou lovest me, ride thou thither up to yonder troops and here again, that I may rest assured whether yon troops are friend or enemy.
I'll be here again, even with a thought.
Go, get higher on that hill. Regard our Decius and tell me what thou knowest about the field. This day I breathed first. Time has come around. And where I did begin, there shall I end. My life has run his compass. How now? What news?
Oh, my lord!
What news?
Our Decius is enclosed, round about with horsemen that make him on the spur, and he spurs on. Now they are almost on him. Now Decius. Now some light. Oh, he lights too. He is ta'en. And hark, they shout for joy.
Come down. We'll hold no more. Oh, coward that I am to live so long. Caesar, thou art revenged even with the blade that killed thee.
It is but changed, Decius, for Octavius is overthrown by noble Brutus's power, as Cassius's legions are by Antony.
These tidings will well comfort Cassius.
Where did you leave him?
All disconsolate on this hill.
Is that not he that lies upon the ground?
He lies that like the living. Oh, my heart!
Is that not he?
No, Metellus. This was he, but Cassius is no more. O setting sun, as in thy red rays thou dost sing tonight, so in his red blood Cassius' day is set. The sun of Rome is set. Our day is gone. Clouds, dews, and dangers come. Our deeds are done. Mistrust of my success hath done this deed.
Mistrust of good success hath done this deed. O hateful air, melancholy child, why dost thou show to the apt thoughts of men the things that are not?
What, Brutus? Where art thou, Brutus?
I'll seek him, Decius, to meet the noble Brutus, thrusting this report into his ears.
Are you, Metellus? Why didst thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends? Didst thou not hear their shouts? Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything. Brutus, come apace, and see how I regarded Caius Cassius. And by your leave, gods, this is a Roman's part. Come, Cassius' blade, and find Decius' heart.
Where, Metellus, doth his body lie?
Lo, yonder, and Decius mourning it.
Decius faces upward.
He is slain.
O Julius Caesar, thou art mighty yet. Thy spirit walks abroad and turns our blades in our own proper entrails. Are yet two Romans living such as these? The last of all the Romans. Fare thee well. Friends, I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius. I shall find time. Let us to the fields. 'Tis 3 o'clock, and Romans yet ere night. We shall try fortune in the second fight. Yet, countrymen! Oh, yet! Hold up your heads!
Yield, or thou diest.
Only I yield to die. There's so much that will kill me straight. And I am Brutus. Brutus I. Kill Brutus and be honored in his death.
You must not. A noble prisoner. Brutus is taken. Brutus is taken, my lord.
Where is he?
Safe, Antony. Brutus is safe enough. I dare assure thee that no enemy shall take alive the noble Brutus. The gods defend him from so great a shame. When you do find him, or alive, or dead, he will be found like Brutus, like himself.
This is not Brutus, friend, but I assure you, a prize no less in worth. Keep this man safe, give him all kindness. I had rather have such men my friends than enemies. Go on, see where Brutus be, alive or dead.
Come, poor remains of friends. Rest on this trunk. Come hither, Lucius. A word with you.
What says my lord?
The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me too several times by night. At Sardis once, and this last night, here in Philippi fields. I know my hour is come.
Not so, my lord.
Nay, I am sure of it, faithful Lucius. Thou seest the world, good soldier, how it goes. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. Fare thee well, dear Lucius. My heart doth joy that yet, in all my life, I found no man but he was true to me. I shall have glory in this losing day, more than Octavius or Mark Antony, by this vile conquest shall attain unto. So fare thee well at once. For Brutus' tongue hath almost ended his life's history. Night hangs upon mine eyes. My bones would rest, that have but labored to attain this hour. I prithee, Lucius, stay thou by thy lord. Thou art a fellow of good respect. Thy life hath had some smatch of honor in it. Hold then my blade, and turn thy face away, while I do run upon it. Wilt thou, Lucius? Farewell, good Lucius. Caesar, now be still. I killed not thee with half so good will.
What man is that?
My master's man. Lucius, where is thy master?
Free from the bondage you are now in, Metellus. The conquerors can but make a fire of him. For Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death.
So Brutus should be found. I thank thee, Brutus, that thou hast proved Lucilius' saying true.
All that served Brutus, I will entertain them.
Brutus was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He only, in a general honest thought and common good to all, made one of them. His life was gentle, the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man.
According to his virtue, let us use him with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier, ordered honorably. So call the field to rest, and let's away to part the glories of this happy day.